terrifies the other living being is a most wretched subject, and the king should at once kill such a disturbing element. Hmm? This is Atatai, those who are uh, terrifying or those who are causing troubles to the others. As the wild animal is killed when it creates disturbance, similarly, any man who unnecessarily kills or terrifies the jungle animals or other animals must be punished at once. By the law of the Supreme Lord, all living beings, in whatever shape they may be, are the sons of the Lord, and no one has any right to kill another animal unless it is so ordered by the codes of natural law. The tiger can kill a lower animal for his subsistence, but a man cannot kill an animal for his subsistence. That is the law of God, who has created the law that a living being subsists by eating another living being. Thus, the vegetarians are also living by eating other living beings. Therefore, the law is that one should live only by eating specific living beings as ordained by the law of God. The Ishopanishad directs that one should live by the direction of the Lord and not at one's own sweet will. A man can subsist on varieties of grains, fruits, and milk ordained by God, and there is no need of animal food, save and except in particular cases. The illusioned king or executive head, even though sometimes advertised as great philosophers and learned scholars, will allow slaughterhouses in a state without knowing the torturing poor animals clearly clears the way of to hell for such a foolish king or executive head. The executive head must always be alert to the safety of the prajas, both man and animal, and inquire whether a particular living being is harassed at any place by another living being. The harassing living being must at once be caught and put to death, as shown by Maharaj Parikshit. Very strong system of justice. The people's government or governed by the people should not allow killing of innocent animal by the sweet will of the foolish government men. They must know the codes of God as mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Maharaj Parikshit quotes here that according to the codes of God, the irresponsible king or state executive jeopardizes his good name, duration of life, power, and strength, and ultimately his progressive march towards a better life and salvation after death. Such foolish men do not even believe in the existence of next life. While commenting on this particular verse, we have in our presence the statement of a great modern politician who has recently died and left his will, which discloses his poor fund of knowledge of the codes of God mentioned by Maharaj Parikshit. The politician was so ignorant of the codes of the law of codes of God that he writes, I do not believe in any such ceremonies, and to submit to them, even as a matter of form, would be hypocrisy and an attempt to delude ourselves and others. I have no religious sentiment in the matter. Contrasting the statement of a great politician in the modern age with those of Maharaj Parikshit, we find a vast difference. Maharaj Parikshit was pious according to the scriptural codes, whereas the modern politicians goes by his personal belief and sentiment. Any great man of the material world is, after all, a conditioned soul. He is bound by his hands and feet by the ropes of material nature, and still the foolish conditioned soul thinks of himself as free to act by his whimsical sentiments. The conclusion is that in the time of Maharaj Parikshit, people were happy and the animals were given proper protection because the executive head was not whimsical or ignorant of God's law. Foolish, faithless creatures try to avoid the existence of the Lord and proclaim themselves secular at the cost of valuable human life. The human life is specially meant for knowing the science of God. But foolish creatures, especially in the stage of Kali, instead of knowing God scientifically, make propaganda against religious belief as well as the existence of God, even though they are always bound by the laws of good, by the laws of God, by the symptoms of birth, death, old age, and disease. So he is explaining that he wants to immediately punish. को अवर्षे तव पादं स्त्रीन् सौरभे चतुष्पदा मा भुवा मा भुवां स्वदर्श रस्तरे राजन कृष्णानुवर्तिनाम. He, Maharaj Parikshit, repeatedly addressed and questioned the bull. Thus, the son of Surabhi, who has cut off your three legs, in the state of being, in the state of the kings who were obedient to the laws of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, there is no one unhappy as you. In the state of the king who are obedient to the laws of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, there is no one as unhappy as you. So this is asking the bull, the Dharma personified. The kings or the executive head of all states must know the codes of Lord Krishna, generally Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and must act accordingly in order to fulfill the mission of human life, which is to make an end to all the miseries of material conditions. One who, one who knows the codes of Lord Krishna can achieve this end without any difficulty. In the Bhagavad Gita, we can understand the codes of order of Godhead in a symposium. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the same codes are explained further. In the state where the codes of Krishna are followed, no one is unhappy. Where such codes are not followed, the first sign is that the three legs of the representative of religion were cut off, and thereby all miseries follow. When Krishna was personally present, the codes of Krishna were being followed without question. But in the absence of such codes are presented in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam for the guidance of the blind people who happen to be at the helm of all affairs. Hare Krishna. आख्याने वृषाभद्रं वा साधूनाम् अकृतागसाम् आत्मवैरूपकर्तारं प्रथनं कीर्ति दुषाणाम्. O bull, you are offenseless and thoroughly honest. Therefore, I wish all good to you. Please tell me who is the perpetrator of these mutilations which blacken the reputation of the son of Partha, Pritha. The reputation of the reign of Maharaj Ramchandra and that of the reigns of the kings who followed in the footsteps of Maharaj Ramchandra, like the Pandavas and their descendants, are never to be forgotten because in their kingdoms, offenseless and honest living beings were never in trouble. The bull and the cow are the symbols of the most offenseless living being because even the stool and urine of these animals are utilized to benefit human society. The descendants of the son of Pritha, like Maharaj Parikshit, were afraid of losing their reputation. But in the modern days, the leaders are not even afraid of killing such offenseless animals. Herein lies the difference between the reign of those pious kings and the modern states ruled by irresponsible executive head without knowledge of the codes of God. जने अनगसी अघम युंजम सर्वतो वस्य च मद्भवाम साधुनाम भद्रमेव स्यात् असाधो दामने कृते. Whoever causes offenseless living beings to suffer must fear me anywhere and everywhere in the world. What a bold declaration. Whoever causes offenseless living beings to suffer must fear me anywhere and everywhere in the world. By curbing dishonest miscreants, one automatically benefits the offenseless. This is the principle. Dishonest miscreants flourish because of cowardly and impotent executive heads of state. Very important. That if the ruler is strong and he is following the dharma, then these miscreants, hmm, they cannot exist. As offenseless citizens of the state, the devotee of the Lord are by nature peaceful and offenseless. And therefore, it is the prime duty of the state to arrange to convert everyone to become a devotee of the Lord. Thus, automatically, all the citizens will be peaceful and offenseless. Then the only duty of the king will be to curb the dishonest miscreants that will bring peace and harmony all over human society. So, how much duty bound Parikshit Maharaj is feeling himself? Okay, should I continue or should I stop here? बोलिए. बोलो, should I continue or should I stop here?
Now it is 8:50, Prabhuji. 10 minutes. We can one
Okay.
more.
Two more verses. अनघाशु भूत इह भूतेषु यो अगस्कृन्निरङ्कुशः अर्हतस्मै भुजां साक्षात् अमृतस्यापि संगदाम्. Any upstart living being who commits offenses by torturing those who are offenseless shall be directly uprooted by me. Even though he be a citizen of heaven or any, he should be a citizen of heaven with armor and decoration. So Maharaj is so determined, he's saying he may be anyone, even if he's a citizen of heaven. If he's engaged in torturing those who are observing the religious principles, they will be punished by me. The denizens of the heavenly kingdom are called Amara or deathless due to their possessing long span of life, far greater than that of the human beings. For a human being who has only a maximum of 100-year duration of lifespan, a span of life spreading over hundreds of millions of years is certainly considered to be deathless. For example, from the Bhagavad Gita, we learn that on the Brahmaloka planet, the duration of one day is calculated to be, for example, from Bhagavad Gita, we learn that on the Brahmaloka planet, the duration of one day is calculated to be 43 million to 1000 solar years. Similarly, in other heavenly planets, one day is calculated to be 6 months on this planet, and the inhabitants get a life of 100 millions of their years. Therefore, in all higher planets, since the lifespan is far greater than that of the human beings, the denizens are called deathless by imagination, although actually no one within the material universe is deathless. राजनो हि परमो धर्म स्वधर्म स्थानुपालनम सशास्त्रो अनयन यथा शास्त्रम अनुपद्य उत, उत्पथतान इह. The supreme duty of the ruling king is to give all protection to law-abiding persons and to chastise those who stray from the ordinance of the scriptures in ordinary times when there is no emergency. In the scriptures, there is mention of apadharma, emergency, or occupational duty at the times of extraordinary happenings. It is said that sometimes the great sage Vishwamitra had to live on the flesh of dogs in some extraordinary dangerous position. In case of emergency, no one in case of emergency, one may be allowed to live on the flesh of animals of all descriptions. But that does not mean that there should be regular slaughterhouses to feed the animal eaters, and that the system should be encouraged by the state. No one should try to live on flesh in ordinary times, simply for the sake of palate. If anyone does so, the king or the executive head should punish him for his gross enjoyment. There are regular scriptural injunctions for different persons engaged in different occupational duties, and one who follows them is called Swadharmastha, or faithful in one's prescribed duties. In the Bhagavad Gita 8:48, it is advised that one should not give up his occupational prescribed duties even if they are not always flawless. Such Swadharma might be violated in case of emergency if one is forced by circumstances, but they cannot be violated in ordinary times. The state executive head is so to see that such a Swadharma is not changed by the followers, whatever it may be, and he should give all protection to the followers of Swadharma. The violator is subject to punishment in terms of the Shastra, and the duty of the king is to see that everyone strictly follows his occupational duty as prescribed in the scriptures. Hare Krishna, I'll stop here. Any question or discussion? We see in this section how Maharaj Parikshit is considering himself so much duty bound. Okay, I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki